Hey everyone, Michelle here with Next Chapter Counseling. So today I'm here to make my first video answering questions about everything relationship related. So these could be questions related to how to make a relationship better when you're already in one, how to find a successful relationship and the challenges that come with dating, and how to recover when unfortunately you've lost a relationship. So I'm going to be making videos like this every week from here on out, answering questions, again, about everything and all things relationship. So today, the question that I'm going to answer is, how do you know when you're ready to date again after you had a relationship end? This is one of the most common questions that I get asked by clients, is how do they know when they're ready to get back out there and try to find a new relationship? And sometimes people tend to set deadlines for themselves, I guess. They might think to themselves, oh, I'm going to be ready in 1 month. Oh, I'm going to be ready in 6 months. But really, what I found is that there is no one size fits all approach when it comes to being ready to date again. There's not a certain magical amount of time that needs to pass necessarily, but there are certain things that when they are in place, you're more likely to be successful with the next relationship that you find. A lot of people want to avoid the dreaded rebound relationship, which I completely understand, or they just get into this dilemma where they start dating again and then they realize they weren't ready like they thought they were. And I don't want that to happen to you. So in this video today, I'm going to talk about the criteria that I talk about with my clients so that they can really do some thinking about when they might be ready to date again. So the first thing that's really important is to make sure that you are back to your normal day-to-day routine of life after the relationship has ended. This might seem common sense, but you would be surprised how many people don't follow this. It's easy after a relationship ends to go through a grieving period where it might be hard to go into work, hard to shower, hard to eat, leave the house. It's just hard to do anything when a relationship ends sometimes. And people can fall into this way of thinking that, well, okay, if I make a dating profile, that'll kind of jolt me out of it. Or, oh, it doesn't matter that I haven't left the house for a week. I really want to go to this speed dating event, and that will make things better. And yes, dating can be a welcome distraction from the healing that's happening. But it's really important to make sure that you are back into the routine of your day-to-day life first before you try to date. And this may take some time, especially if you and your ex lived together and you've had to move and get used to living in a new place and getting settled in there. Give yourself some time to feel like you're fully back to your normal life before you start trying to date again. The second thing that I recommend is that it's really important to keep an eye out for how much you're thinking about your ex. Sometimes people set this bar for themselves that's a little too high, if you ask me, of, well, I know I'm ready to date again when I'm not thinking about my ex at all, ever. But really, that doesn't always happen. It's possible that your ex may pop into your mind from time to time. You may go weeks without thinking about them, you may go months without thinking about them, but every once in a while, you may have a thought about them. This is pretty natural and normal. So what I encourage people to do before they start dating again is to just really take some time to notice, am I thinking about my ex significantly less than I used to when we first broke up? And what's important also is that when you think about them, are you feeling emotionally overwhelmed? Are you crying when you think about them? Are you feeling anxiety or having a panic attack when you think about them? If the answers to those questions are yes, you're not ready to date yet. It's important that if your ex does pop into your mind, it doesn't bring out a strong emotional reaction in you. You can just kind of think to yourself, oh, yep, okay, I'm remembering that, or I'm thinking about that, and then be able to keep going on pretty easily. If you're not to that place yet, you're not ready to date. So that's a really important thing that I encourage my clients to think about and to notice, is if they're to that place yet, and if they're not, to hold off. The final thing that I would say maybe gets overlooked the most often. Most people understand those first two of, yeah, I get it that it's important that I'm back to my normal life. Yeah, I don't want to be thinking about my ex too much when I start dating again. But the third one here is to take some time to reflect, think, journal, if that's something that you do, about what didn't work in this past relationship. Something went wrong. Perhaps many somethings went wrong, but it didn't work out for a reason. There may have been certain qualities that you can look back now that your ex has, and you're thinking to yourself, oh man, I do not want to find somebody with that quality. I want somebody who is maybe cleaner. I want somebody who is maybe more adventurous. You can look back and see where maybe you and your ex just didn't line up too well. And it's important to think about what qualities you're now looking for that maybe you weren't looking for as much back then when you first started dating your ex. It's also important to really think about yourself. There may have been things that you did in your past relationship, even though it's hard to look at, that maybe contributed to the relationship not being as successful as it could have been. And when you can pause and look at those things and think to yourself, well, what would I like to do differently in the future when I'm dating again? That can set you on the path to making a change. Now, these are hard questions to answer. It can be hard to really think about what actually was not working on a deeper level or what you need to change. So this is where working with a therapist can be helpful in answering those questions and really getting clear on what you want to be different moving forward. If you don't pause and take time to think about what you want to be different, chances are you may just accidentally wind up repeating the same old stuff from before. And that's not going to get you on a path to finding anyone different or better. So it's important to take that last step of really taking time to sit down and think about what didn't work, what you want to be different, and how you want to be different too in a relationship moving forward. So those are the 3 things that I recommend. Get back to your day-to-day life. Get to a place where you're not thinking about your ex hardly at all anymore, very rarely, and getting to a place where you can see where things went wrong before and what you want to do differently in the future. If you have a question that you want me to answer in a future video, send me an email, nextchapter.michelle@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll be posting another video next week. Thanks.